Hey Reddit, I'm posting this because my life has completely imploded, and I don't even know where to begin to pick up the pieces. I'm living through a nightmare that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I'm Tristan, 35M. I had been married to Jasmine, 34F, for 8 years. We met in college, dated for 2 years, and got married shortly after graduation. We were that couple, everyone thought we were perfect together. We built a life, a home. We were excited to start a family. And after a few years, we welcomed our beautiful daughter, Lola, into the world. She's 6 now, bright, funny, and the absolute light of my life. Or so I thought. Our journey to parenthood wasn't entirely smooth. Jasmine struggled with birth control, she'd often forget pills, leading to a few scares. We talked extensively about family planning. We knew we wanted a family, but we also wanted to be responsible, to ensure we could provide for the children we had. After Lola was born, and given Jasmine's history with contraception, we had serious discussions about long-term solutions. To ease our concerns about unplanned pregnancies, and because I felt it was a shared responsibility, I decided to undergo a vasectomy. I was 32 at the time. We discussed it thoroughly, agreed it was the best path for us to confidently manage our family size. The procedure itself was straightforward, a minor outpatient surgery. I followed all the post-op instructions, including getting the required follow-up tests to confirm sterility. The results came back clear, I was sterile. The doctor confirmed it. It gave us immense peace of mind. No more worries about accidental pregnancies. We could focus on raising Lola and building our lives. For 3 years after my vasectomy, life continued. Jasmine eventually stopped taking birth control altogether, as there was no longer a need. We were secure in our decision. Then, about 3 months ago, Jasmine started exhibiting signs of pregnancy. Unusual fatigue, morning sickness, cravings. My initial reaction was utter perplexity. How was this possible? I had a vasectomy. I was sterile. I tried to reassure myself, it must be something else. Stress. A bug. But the symptoms persisted, undeniable. Jasmine was convinced she was pregnant. I was convinced she couldn't be. Despite my confidence in the vasectomy, the persistent symptoms and Jasmine's insistence prompted me to take action. I called my urologist and scheduled another sperm count test, just to be absolutely sure. It was a formality, I thought. A way to prove to Jasmine that it was impossible. The results came back a few days later. My urologist called me personally. Tristan, he said, his voice grave, I'm looking at your results. You are still completely sterile. There's no sperm count whatsoever. There's zero chance you could have fathered a child. My heart sank. A cold dread washed over me. If I was sterile, and Jasmine was pregnant. Meanwhile, Jasmine confirmed her pregnancy with an at-home test, then a doctor's visit. She was indeed pregnant. The pieces clicked into place, forming a horrifying picture. If I was sterile, and she was pregnant, then she had cheated. The betrayal hit me like a physical blow. But then, another, even more devastating thought, crashed through my mind. If she had cheated recently, and I had been sterile for 3 years, what about Lola? I called my lawyer, a close family friend named Sarah. I explained the situation, my voice trembling. Sarah, I choked out, I need a DNA test. For Lola. Sarah was quiet for a moment, then, understanding the gravity, said, Tristan, I'll set it up. But prepare yourself. This is going to be incredibly difficult. The wait for the DNA test results for Lola was the longest, most agonizing week of my life. Every moment with her, every hug, every laugh, was tainted by the terrifying uncertainty. I looked at her, so innocent, so full of joy, and wondered if everything I knew was a lie. The results came back. Devastating. Not only was I still sterile, confirming the new pregnancy was not mine, but the DNA test for Lola confirmed it too. I was not Lola's biological father. My world didn't just shatter, it evaporated. 18 years of marriage, 6 years of fatherhood, a lifetime of trust, all gone. Lola, my daughter, my everything, was not biologically mine. The pain was unbearable, a crushing weight of betrayal, grief, and profound confusion. I went home, the DNA test results clutched in my trembling hand. Jasmine was there, looking happy, oblivious, rubbing her slightly swollen belly. She smiled at me. I felt a surge of nausea. Jasmine, I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion, we need to talk. I placed the paternity test results for Lola on the coffee table. Her eyes scanned the document, and her face went from cheerful to confused, then to pure, unadulterated terror. What is this? She whispered, her voice barely audible. It's a DNA test for Lola, I replied, my voice cold. It says I'm not her father. And I just got my sperm count results back. I'm still sterile. So, you tell me, Jasmine. How are you pregnant? She initially denied everything. It's a mistake. The tests are wrong. You're crazy, Tristan. I would never. She tried to gaslight me, to turn it back on me, to make me doubt my own sanity. But I was firm. I had the undeniable proof. I pressed her, relentlessly, calmly, showing her the dates of my vasectomy, the sterility tests. Finally, her facade crumbled. She broke down, sobbing, admitting to infidelity. It was just one time, she wailed, years ago. Before your vasectomy. I swear. I was so confused. I was lonely. And this new baby? I don't know. It must have been a miracle. It was just a one-time mistake, I swear. Her words were a torrent of self-pity and flimsy excuses. A one-time occurrence that resulted in a child I had raised for 6 years? A miracle pregnancy while I was sterile? The lies were so transparent, so insulting. There was no remorse, only fear of getting caught. The emotional fallout was immense. My mind raced. Every memory with Lola, every moment of joy, every time I called her my little girl, felt like a cruel joke. I grappled with feelings of betrayal, heartbreak, and a profound sense of being utterly used. How could I have been so blind? How could she have lived with this secret for 6 years? Could I ever trust her again? Could I raise a child that was not biologically mine, knowing the depth of this deception? The answer, a painful, resounding no, echoed in my mind. Faced with the crushing reality of Jasmine's infidelity and the devastating implications for our family, the decision, though heartbreaking, became clear. I had to pursue a divorce. This marriage, built on such a fundamental lie, was a sham. My trust was irrevocably broken. I immediately sought legal counsel from Sarah, my lawyer. She explained my rights and responsibilities, particularly regarding child support for a child that was not biologically mine. In our state, which is an at-fault divorce state, infidelity could significantly impact the outcome of property division and spousal support. The fact that she had concealed the paternity of our daughter for 6 years, and then deliberately conceived another child knowing I was sterile, strengthened my case significantly. The legal process began, revealing the complex, painful realities of divorce. The day after the confrontation, I moved out of our shared home. I couldn't bear to be under the same roof as her, surrounded by the ghosts of a life built on lies. I found a small apartment, a temporary refuge. As the divorce proceedings unfolded, Jasmine remained in a state of denial, or perhaps, calculated manipulation. She bombarded me with texts and calls, claiming she thought we were working things out, that I was overreacting, that families stick together. She tried to spin the narrative, painting herself as the heartbroken wife whose husband had abandoned her during a difficult pregnancy. But I remained resolute. I documented everything, every text, every call, every interaction. My lawyer advised me to cease all direct communication with Jasmine, channeling everything through legal channels. I prepared for the inevitable court proceedings, knowing it would be a brutal, public battle. The emotional toll was immense. I was living in a constant state of anxiety, grief, and anger. The humiliation of having my life exposed, of being the subject of whispers and pity, was crushing. I had lost my wife, my family, and the very foundation of my reality. The most agonizing challenge was navigating the situation with Lola. How do you explain to a 6-year-old that the man she calls dad isn't her biological father, and that her mother deliberately lied about it? My lawyer advised me to maintain as much normalcy as possible for Lola, but the truth would eventually have to come out. I expressed my profound frustration over Jasmine's lack of transparency, her selfish choices, and the devastating impact of her actions on Lola, who was an innocent victim in all of this. The emotional toll was significant for both of us. Jasmine was dealing with her own shame and the unraveling of her life. I was dealing with profound betrayal and the dissolution of everything I thought was real. The family unit, once seemingly solid, was now shattered beyond recognition. As the divorce progressed, I found solace in therapy. My therapist helped me process the trauma, the anger, the grief, and the profound sense of loss. I leaned heavily on my friends and family, who offered unwavering support. My parents, heartbroken for me, were a constant source of comfort. My best friend, Mike, was there for me every step of the way, listening, offering practical help, and reminding me of my worth. The legal proceedings continued. My lawyer filed motions for a court-ordered paternity test for the new baby, ensuring I would not be financially responsible for a child that was not mine. We began discussions about property division, child custody. For Lola, despite the biological truth, I still loved her and wanted to be in her life, and the complex issue of child support. My lawyer was confident that the evidence of Jasmine's fraud and infidelity would weigh heavily in my favor. I'm still in the thick of it, but I'm determined to create a new life for myself, one built on integrity, truth, and genuine connection. I'm learning to trust again, to heal, and to redefine what family means to me. The shadows of betrayal and heartbreak still linger, but with each passing day, I feel a little stronger, a little more at peace. This ordeal, as painful as it has been, has ultimately forced me to confront a lie and build a life that is truly authentic.